Hello, fellow travelers. I'm Dr. Richard Hector. Welcome to Soucouyant, a Caribbean supernatural tale, where we reimagine the Soucouyant, a character from the folklore of the Caribbean. Here we follow her as she is depicted in Trinidad. Her depiction might be different in other places in the Caribbean. If you know about the Soucouyant, I hope you like this reinterpretation. If you are new to the Soucouyant, I hope you enjoy meeting this new character and that she motivates you to look into other folk characters, not only from the Caribbean, but also other places. Episode 15, Soucouyant, a Caribbean supernatural tale. Who will mind the store? In the previous episode, the Soucouyant explained more about herself and her community. Some of the information surprised Margarita, but also made her anxious. The Soucouyant reassured her, and the anxiety was just for a moment. Further, the Soucouyant gently led Margarita to grasp the interplay of energy and matter more deeply. We are starting to suspect that these human-ish beings might not be supernatural after all. What do you mean you don't sleep? Asked Margarita. I don't know what human sleep is, and I certainly don't know what human death is. I am human-ish, not human. Oh, said Margarita with incredulity. I know, and? So it's a mystery to you too, eh? Kaihua laughed. No, it's not. If you're not looking for answers, then the issue is not a mystery. But you don't know, said Margarita. I don't know lots of things, and I have no interest in knowing. They're not mysteries. I don't know what it's like to be a worm living by a sea vent. It's not a mystery to me because I'm not curious about it. I have no interest in that experience. You are more human than I imagined, said Margarita. And not human too. I know, and? And you don't know the half of it, responded Kaihua. Then she changed subjects. Listen, I need to show you how to run the store. Mr. Lee, number one son, will not be running the business anymore. Oh, said Margarita. Who will run the store? You will. Me? Yes, you. But I never run a business. I don't know how. I'll teach you, said Kaihua. Okay, what will people say when they don't see him coming in? Asked Margarita. Oh, he'll come in, and his cousin will be here helping out, remember? Yes, Mama. Kaihua, she reminded Margarita. Yes, Kaihua. Close enough, laughed Kaihua. Here, she handed her the note for instructions. You picked this up from the security guard this morning. I did? Asked Margarita. Then she looked again at Kaihua and chuckled. I guess I did. Let me read it. She silently read the brief instructions and looked again at Kaihua. So I have keys and everything. How did I know Mr. Lee would leave these instructions with the guard? She asked with an amused twinkle in her eyes. Well, mostly he's transparent, but I observed him enough to understand how he thinks. That's how I knew he'd go for Gemma. Ah, so as I said, the hunter became the hunted, said Margarita. Sometimes, but in this case, he was never the hunter. He was just a fish going for bait on a hook. They both laughed, and Kaihua continued. Come, let me show you how to do the books. She showed Margarita the books and suggested that the business could support a substantial pay raise for all of the employees, while explaining ordering and remittances. Kaihua paused and said, Anne has arrived. At that moment, they heard a loud exclamation from the store. Oh God, look at this place. I don't think this is the same store, said Anne, as she was walking to the back, she stopped short on seeing Kaiwa. "Oh, hello, and who might you be?" she asked boldly. "I am Kaiwa. I'm a cousin of Mr. Lee," replied Kaiwa, and she gave a full-faced look at Margarita as she spoke. Margarita added, "Yes, Miss Kaiwa will be working here to help out," said Margarita. "Oh, are you the one who has this place looking so nice? It's like a new store," said Anne. "Yes, I did some rearranging with the help of a few friends," replied Kaiwa. "Well, you and your friends did a wonderful job. This place looked really nice. And you so pretty. What's your name again, Miss?" asked Anne. "Kaiwa," she replied. "Oh my goodness, what a pretty name, Miss Kaiwa. Are you from China?" asked Anne. "No, I'm from here, but I don't live in town," replied Kaiwa. Mr. Lee never mentioned he had cousins like you. But then again, he's standoffish. He never talks much about his family. "Is he ill? Will he be coming into work?" asked Anne as she put away her things. "I suppose so. He might come in on afternoons," said Kaiwa. You know he always here early to open the store, and of course, he closes the store himself," said Anne. "Miss Margarita or I will handle those things," said Kaiwa. Anne paused and looked at them wide-eyed on realizing that Margarita just got a promotion. She beamed at the thought. Then she said, "Okay, I will go investigate where everything is so I can sell some cloth when people come in," she said breezily. With that, she turned and walked back into the store, touching and smoothing fabric as if seeing them for the first time. She said aloud, "I would have never believed that this is such a nice store." She stood by the open door and spoke into the morning traffic. "Come on, people. Come in here and buy this good stuff," Kaiwa said to Margarita. "That reminds me, we have to lower the prices on some of these fabrics." "Oh, yes, I have often tried hinting to Mr. Lee that we had to do that," agreed Margarita. "Some of these prices are ridiculous," said Kaiwa, "and folks think I'm a bloodsucker. He puts me to shame." Margarita put her hand to cover her open mouth. She was tickled and shocked. Kaiwa laughed heartily at Margarita's reaction. Margarita joined in, but her laughter held more than a hint of nervousness. Kaiwa threw her head back and laughed even harder. She said, "Ha! Why are you so shocked? Didn't think I could be funny?" asked Kaiwa. Kaiwa, I'm struggling with what to think when it comes to you," remarked Margarita. "In what way? I've told you more about me than I've told any human," asked Kaiwa as amusement danced in her eyes. I know. You are at the same time, I guess, more than I imagined and less than I imagined, if that makes sense," said Margarita. "It might. How am I less than you imagined?" asked Kaiwa. "I guess you admit to having daily struggles. Well, had daily struggles anyway." "Oh, I still have daily struggles, as every human being does," said Kaiwa. "And that's just it. I never imagined you being anything close to human," said Margarita. "Ah, I see," said Kaiwa. "So being human makes me less than you imagined?" No. Well, yes," said Margarita. "Which is it, no or yes?" Kaiwa laughed as she spoke. I don't know really. I guess yes. Humans are weak. Feelings cause problems, said Margarita. Are you trying to say vulnerable? Asked Kaiwa. Ooh, yes, that's the word I was looking for. I never imagined you could be vulnerable to your feelings. Or anything, said Margarita. I have very strong feelings and desires. It pains me deeply to see the wickedness humans do to each other, and would do to us, my kind, if we allowed it. But now, tell me, how am I more than you imagined? Said Kaiwa. That's easy, said Margarita. Look at you. You're a beautiful Chinese woman. Last week, you were a shy black girl. Kaiwa laughed. This morning, I was you, when I picked up the keys and instructions from the security guard. I know. You're not an ugly, miserable, poor old lady living in a shack on the edge of the forest, said Margarita. Oh, I've been that. It's fun to do that, said Kaiwa. You don't turn into a ball of fire and fly through the night? Asked Margarita. Well, it's not exactly fire. Not in the everyday sense of fire anyway. And not quite a ball. But I do that, said Kaiwa. You do? Asked Margarita. Kind of, said Kaiwa. Oh, that was the only sound Margarita could muster. Maybe we've had enough of this conversation, said Kaiwa. Yes, Ma. Kaiwa. Oh, it's not that I forbid it. You sound like I disapprove, said Kaiwa. I, said Margarita. I don't disapprove. I just don't want to overload you. You are my friend, said Kaiwa. Really? Asked Margarita. Yes, really. Friends share. Okay, I'll tell you, but let me know if it's too much, said Kaiwa. Okay, replied Margarita. In the following episode, the Soucouyant details the interplay of energy and matter in concepts that Margarita could understand. We see the similarity between humans and the humanish. We are reminded that humans use sunlight to make vitamin D directly. Further, when energy is captured by plants for photosynthesis, it is made more potent, and even more so when animals consume plants. So, could there be another step when the Soucouyant consumes human blood?